from Creative the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me today. This week's craft along is a little bit different. Usually I show you some fun fold or a little card with a wow on the inside because I particularly like those. This is all about the front. We are doing a folded paper tree, okay? Bit tricky for me to get the right angle for you, but it is super simple and is perfect when time is running away with you and you need a quick make and you've got loads of scrap bits left lying around. So this will use up all of those. To make it a little bit special, we're going to make our own background, which I'll run through with you as well. But generally that's it. So we're going to get inky today. So if I put that to one side, the first thing you are going to need is some watercolour card. I've got a big pad of watercolour and I am just going to cover the whole thing in lots of different inks and stamped images. So I've picked 3 greens because I'm going with the tree theme. I've got shaded spruce, garden green and mossy meadow. I like green anyway, so a nice green background is super exciting for me. I'm just going to lay them out slightly off camera probably because I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. Let's put them to the side. And then what I've done is raided my stash of background stamps from Stampin' Up. So some of those you might be aware of and some of them you might not have seen. So this is a tree ring stamp set. This is still on the wooden block because I've had it such a while. There's a crackle paint one. There's a postscript one. I've also got this Christmas season one. And I'm also going to use the sentiments that go with that. So this set is actually current. We've had such amazing Christmas bundles this year that you may have forgotten that you've got this. So go and have a look through your stash and just drag it out. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those, but I'm definitely going to use the sentiments. So what we're going to do, we're not prepping our watercolour card at all. We're going to get a block. Now, if you're lucky enough to have one of these big blocks, then use that. If you've only got a smaller block, that's fine as well. You can still use these background stamps. You're just making a mess on your paper. So let me bring these over. Now, when you get these out, these are as big as that, and they fit on this block. But if they didn't, if I get one of my other blocks, I would just put it, just part on it and then just stamp like that, just all over, because you're just doing a random pattern. As it fits on, I am just going to put that on there and I'm going to pick a colour. Now this, when it stamps, it just gives the texture of the crackle paint, so it doesn't leave lots of colour behind, so I can get away with using a really dark colour. So I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. And I'm just randomly, I'm not making sure it's inked everywhere, I'm just randomly stamping. And make sure you've got your tools before you start. There's a spritzer somewhere here. Let me find it. Oh, don't just take that. Just got it all ready. There it is, look, right in front of my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to spritz that, not over the paper, just slightly off. And I'm going to be about that far, I don't know how far that is away, so I'm not completely soaking. There's a bit of water on there, but it's not completely soaked. Now I'm not going to try and be clever and do blocks. I'm just randomly going to do it. So I'm just going to drop that on and just leave it there while I chat. Press it a little bit and then lift it up just so it's had a bit of time to soak into the watercolour card. And can you see it's slightly watery there? Now I'm going to go again, but at a different angle. And I haven't taken any ink off, I've just left it like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do again, just like that, and just leave that for a minute. So far I've got a piece that's got a few bits on it. I'm just going to take that straight off and find another block that I like. So this one is the postscript one. So that looks like that. Now this does leave more ink behind, but it's still quite spec, so I can also do that in dark as well. So I've not done anything to my stamp. I'm just randomly pressing, going to spritz it. This is just water. And this time I'm not going to try and fill in the gap, I'm going to go over. So that one is going to go there. And just leaving that one there. Just let it soak in for a minute or two and lift it. It's slightly warped, that's fine, it doesn't matter. Where else shall I put it? Over this side. So I'm going to go there. Just leave that on there. Okay, some of it stamped, some of it didn't. Don't stress over it. A bit more here. Okay, so far it looks pretty much of nothing, okay, but we're going to keep going with it. The next one is this arc one. Now, when I first used to get these stamps, I used to put the label on the side, and now I've decided that I don't like that, so I just leave them like that and they stick to the blocks anyway. So this one, is I usually put some glue on there to stick it to the block, but because it's such a big stamp, I can get hold of it. So I am going to, oh, is this the one I've used? Let me have a look. Garden green. No, I haven't used garden green. So I'm just going to stamp it like that. Then I'm going to spritz it like I did the others. And I'm just going to put that on as well. Bit of a wobble there, so goodness knows what this is going to come out like. Ooh, yeah, I actually really like that, so I'm going to do that again. I did say you were going to get messy. That one's going to go there. Well, I've got quite a big gap here, so I might go with the postscript again, but do it in a different colour. So I'm going to bring that back over. And this time I'm also going to do that in garden green. Let's see what happens now. Don't forget to spritz it. Okay. Just at a different angle. Yep. Really messy. And honestly, it looks like, what are you doing, Claire? Okay, that's going there. I think that's it. I think I'm done. So now I'm going to get some sentiments out from this set. Okay, so I've just randomly picked 3. I'm going to put them on a smaller block, and I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to stamp them in some ink, spritz them with some water. That's probably a bit too much. And find somewhere where I think they're going to stick out, and then just press them down. Let them soak in for a minute and lift them up. Okay, that's really watery. Let's do that again while there's still some ink on there. Like that. And another one over there. I'll try and show you what it looks like in a minute. And then I've got another stamp. And this time I'm going for a different colour. So this one, Mossy Meadow. And I spritz that again. Again, that was probably more water than I wanted. But it's okay. Yeah, a bit more water than I wanted. So I'm just going to stamp a bit more. Just trust the process. I'll show you why in a minute. So even if you think, I've put too much water on, that looks awful, I'm going to put that in the bin, I hate it. Honestly, just go with it. So the last one is this one, and I'm just going to use the third colour that I haven't used, which is Shaded Spruce. I'm going to try not put quite so much water on so you can read what it says. Is that one? That one? That one? Just being a bit random now. Then, get a wipe. Be really good and clean up after yourself. There is method in my madness. So I'm just going to get some of these inks all nice and clean. Okay, so I'm just using a wipe to clean them off. Pick up some ink, and then that turns your wipe a bit gooey and green, and you can just add that to your page. Go along the edge, mix some of it in. Can you see how the writing there, even though there was too much water on, it actually has come out really nice. Make the paper a bit wet with your wipe, not too much because you don't want to wipe it clean, and you want a bit of white shining through, but also you want it to be a bit vintage looking, I suppose. Messy heart. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edge just because I like that. And then I'm going to try and stop myself, because what happens is you just keep going and keep going and keep going. So let me see if I can show you that now. So from right to left, it actually looks pretty amazing in real life. I hope it doesn't still look a mess for you, but that is going to be my background piece. So I can use that for tags, for the fronts of Christmas cards, for gift boxes, anything, but that's it, it's job done. So how do we make this card? Right, do I need a clean piece of paper? I think we'll be all right. Nothing is coming off, it's already on my hands. So I've got a standard size card for the UK, and I'm going to decorate the front. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a bit of layering. So I decided on this second card I'm going to do it with gold, okay? So I've cut a piece to fit on the front that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and that's just going to stick straight on. Then I'm going to cut a piece of this to fit on the top. Now, where do I cut out? So I'm looking for a bit that's got a bit of everything. And if I think about the tree's going to be sort of centrally. So I want a bit of bark, a bit of writing, a bit of everything. It doesn't really matter because whatever you use will look good, I promise. So because it's 3 3/4, I need a piece that is 3 5/4. So 3 5/4. What I'm going to do is have a look. That's where my cutting line would be, and then that's sort of where my background piece would be. And actually, I'm really lucky. I like that bit, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, that's going to be the top. There's going to be a sentiment or two, but I actually really like that. So that gives me a really big piece to do my tags with. Now, turning it sideways, it's 5 1/2, so I actually need 5 3/8. Now, if I cut that off there, I'm cutting most of that sentiment, so I'm actually going to move it down a bit. So that bit could be used for tags. Turn it round, and it was 5 3/8. So that now is my background piece. So if I bring my card back over, oh, where did I put it? There. So that's going to be my card. That's my gold layer. That goes on there. It's just an 1/8 of an inch smaller, but look at that. Doesn't that now look amazing? So, shall we go ahead and stick that down? Before we do anything else, let's do that. I'm going to use Tombow glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle room so I can make sure I've got the right border all the way round. I absolutely love how this background has come out. It is perfect. So that is going on there, like so. Ta-da! And then I'm going to stick that straight on there as well. So I will just put my glue. There it is. Tombow again for wiggle room, and make sure that that is on the front of my card, like so. Now you can adjust these sizes to the size of the card that you've got, but I just like a subtle little border, so it's an 1/8 of an inch the difference. Okay, so that will just fold round like that. Okay, do we need to turn that piece of paper over so you can actually see it? Okay, so that's the card. Now the tree, how do we make the tree? Wow. So I've got loads of little bits of paper left over, and I thought I really want something to stand out. So what you need is 3 squares. So these squares are 3 inches by 3 inches, 2.5 by 2.5, and 2 by 2. Okay, then what you need is a bone folder, and we're going to do all the pieces exactly the same. So decide which bit you want on the outside. So I actually think I want this bit on the outside, so I'm going to turn that over. This bit is on the inside. I'm going to fold it in half, completely in half, and I'm just going to burnish it with my bone folder. Okay, then turn it the other way and burnish it again. Just make sure that your lines meet up so you've got a really nice crisp square, and if you open that up you should have 4 squares. Now do it diagonally, so corner to corner, like so, and corner to corner again. So open it up each time before you start to fold. So now you should end up with a piece that's got 2 triangles in each corner. Now if you fold it in half again, like this, and then this triangle here, fold in. So you end up with that shape, okay? And fold it in this way, so you end up with that, a little triangle like that. Now just burnish that, make sure that that's nice and crisp. And then what you need to do is take one of these triangles, meet it to the middle crease and fold it down. And that's that side. And then you do the same with this side. I'm just going to turn it sideways because it's easier to get it to meet. And then burnish it again really firmly, be quite strong with it. And that is a piece of your tree. It's actually the bottom piece. So that is that piece. Okay, so there's one. So now we're going to do the same all over again. Fold it in half, like so. Fold it the other way. Oh. Like so. See what I mean about using up your stash? A little square or two you could find with any of your papers, couldn't you? And you just need 3. You could, of course, add 4 or 5 and make a much bigger tree. You just need to do each square ½ inch difference in size. So that folds in, that folds in, that folds like that, that goes to the middle, burnish it, so you've got a nice point, then do this side, make sure that that meets, that's your second one, and then the last one, exactly the same, all over again. So you could cut a load of squares, sit in front of the TV, watch a Christmas film and have a really nice afternoon just folding paper, using up all your scraps. Okay, so that's that side. The last one is there. Okay, then fold it back out, fold it in half, fold those sides in, just make sure that that's all nice and burnished. And this is the top piece of your tree. Okay. So that needs to be like that. Okay, so there's all three. Now bring your card back in. So last time I did my tree down the bottom and I put a little bit of a stalk on. I think I'm going to do that again, just with a bit of brown. It doesn't matter how big it is, what the size is. As long as it will be tucked behind your tree anyway, but that's probably a bit big. So I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm going to stick that there in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on there. It's just to make it look a bit more Christmas tree-like. I'm going to just do it by eye. So that goes there. Then find your biggest layer. Just glue on the back triangle, flip it over and just place it where you think it needs to be. So sort of go with the middle of the trunk so you've got a central line. So that's one. Now this one, because it's Tombow glue, put some more glue on the next one, and what you can do is slightly tuck it behind. So just tuck it behind there, make sure that the lines, just so that it's good for your eye when you're looking at it, so that they meet, and that's the central bit of your tree. Look how much the sentiment fits in there. It's perfect. Couldn't have planned that better. A happy accident. And then the third bit just goes on there. Make sure that's lined up as well. And that's your tree. Now every good tree needs a star at the top. So what star could we use? I've got an old Stampin' Up punch that's a star, and I want it to be standing out a bit more, so I've got some basic white card that's got some adhesive sheet on the back, and I'm just going to punch out 3 stars. Remember, it's got adhesive sheet on the back. What does that turn it into? A sticker. So they are going to layer up really easy for me. So there's the third one. And then the fourth one, because I want it a gold star, I've got some gold paper that's got adhesive sheet on the back, and I'm just doing a star from gold as well. Okay. Now, start with a white, peel off the adhesive sheet on the back of one of them and layer it directly over top. So, just like that. Okay, and it's now double thickness. This time, I'm going to peel the back off those 2 and stick it onto the third one. Just like so. And then the gold one needs to go on the front. So take the adhesive layer backing off. Stick that on there. What's really good with this is you can use the gold flakes as well. So if you just had your adhesive piece there, you could stick gold flakes over it, and that would be really nice as well. So I like the way that it's just showing in a one side the star is 3D. So now I'm just going to peel the back off of there, and this, my nails, I've cut them off. There you go. So I'm going to put that on there, just at the point. And there's my star. Now I still think it needs something else. So what can we put? Stampin'Up have got the most amazing dies that are sequins. I mean, make your own sequins. How amazing is that? So I've made some with the adhesive sheet on the back in gold. So I thought we could stick some of those on as well, just to put a bit of bling around it. So because they've got adhesive sheets, they should be stickers. So you just peel that off and then stick it. Ta-da! No more messy glue on a sequin. And it exactly coordinates. I should have this one here, like so. And then should we have a bigger one or a same size? Oh, let's go for the same size. There, I think. Look at the size of this one. Look at it, it's amazing. Need to think of a project for that. Okay, so that's that one. And there you have it. Ta-da! Our golden folded Christmas tree. So if I bring the other one back in that I've lost, there. So we've got one with a silver background and one with a gold background. Ta-da! And super easy. Made our own backgrounds, made a mess and got inky, which is the best bit. But hopefully you've loved it as much as me. So if you have, please subscribe. I try and post a video at least once a week when life doesn't get in the way. Always a bit of fun, always an easy craft along. And you can find me on Instagram or Facebook. And if you're in the UK, shop with me online at creativetheottaway.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Bye.